Stop it, Kratos. Okay, I have moved. I have officially moved my ass cheek off of the devil beam. All right. Because the problem was I had a pillow because I've been sleeping on this couch because I've been home alone for a couple months. It's not really anyone's business, but just my mom went to visit a relative, and then a series of events happened. Car broke down, and then she hurt her leg, and they've done X-rays, and they might need to do surgery. And she figures if they end up doing surgery, she'll probably want to stay down there because up here she only has me, and I've got a herniated disc, so there's a limit to how much I can help. But down there, there's a bunch of kids running around and people that can help out. So I've been alone in this house for like the last like 8 months. Uh, and yes, I am going a little crazy. Um, um, uh, 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 I've been da- David. I know it's going to be a long time before you ever. In fact, I'm not even gonna ask you. I'll say it, but I'm not gonna ask you this here because I'm actually really curious. I'm gonna message you. In fact, I'm gonna message you right now. I'm gonna message you right now. Message you right now. Because this is how like bad like my mind's been getting. Um. With just being alone and not having anyone to talk to. David, weird question. Do you ever do let's plays when you're not doing let's plays? What I mean is playing a game and commentating to yourself as if there is an audience. Or am I just a psycho? It says that he's typing. He said sometimes. Okay. Okay. I feel better. Okay, I feel better. Oh god. Because I mean, sometimes that like like I imagine it probably happens more to people that have done let's plays because they have that mentality. But like sometimes if you're playing a game that you're not doing a let's play of, you find yourself just having thoughts and voicing them, and like just like kind of like, and like I think that especially when you do let's plays, which I've done for like 10 years, um which I think you'd think by now I would realize that I'm not going to make it. Which is fine. I started too late. Like it's fine, and there were factors out of my control that I'm not going to get into that prevented me from uh, dedicating as much time to it as would have been necessary, and like it's impossible to become a successful let's player today. Like that's just a fact. Like if you start a channel and you're just doing let's plays like this, just blind beginning to end playthrough of a game while commentating, you will not have success. There may be a 1 in a billion where like something catches on, something goes viral, like a funny clip or something. Um, but like the landscape is just different. And I listen to Distractible, the podcast, which if you don't listen to Distractible, you fucking need to. It's the only podcast I listen to. I don't even really like podcasts. Like I've tried a few and I don't enjoy them. But I listen to Distractible, and it is like, I'll put it like this. It's better if you know who these people are. It's definitely enhanced. But even if you have no idea who these fuckers are, it is some of the funniest shit you'll ever seen. Just as an example, there was an episode where like the premise is that there's a host and two contestants. It's three friends, and they'll have a subject, and the host gives points, and then the winner hosts the next episode, and it goes on like that. And one of them was about raising a baby, because the host Bob had just had a kid, and I think this was when he had just had his kid, or it might have been before he had his kid. I can't remember. Um, and it was about like he would come up with like questions that a kid might ask, and like what answer you give. And he said, "Okay, Daddy, where do babies come from?" And Mark just starts going, "Okay, have you heard of the ship of Theseus?" Which, if you don't know what that is, quick summary. It's a thought experiment. It can be applied to pretty much anything. Imagine a ship where you sail, it takes a little damage, you repair that damage. The some of the cannons break down, you replace them. The boards on the deck, some of them break down over time, you replace them. Uh, and over time, every single piece of that ship has been replaced. Is that still the same ship? And then you're probably going to say yes. You're going to say yes. Like you're obviously going to say yeah. You just repaired it over time. But here's where the thought experiment gets interesting. What if you saved all those broken down pieces and you fixed them up and you rebuilt the same ship? Which one's the ship of Theseus? Yeah, and and that is how Mark chose to explain where babies come from. Which like the through line was like he was trying to explain how like DNA works and stuff, but like it's just like hilarious shit like that. But like I remember anyway. The reason I brought it up is recently they were talking about like success on YouTube, and how like people will ask for advice, and it's like it's so hard as a YouTuber to give advice, because the landscape has changed so much that what they did to get their success would not work today. And that sucks. Like nowadays, Mark has other projects that he works on and stuff, but like he still does his let's plays, and his let's plays, people come to watch him, but they come to watch him for his personality and stuff, and because they know him, because he's popular and stuff. They don't necessarily come because like he's super skilled. He is pretty skilled at some types of games. um but like starting a let's play channel in this day and age, you, there's just no way that would work. And a let's play stream, like a streamer, the only way you could be successful as a let's play streamer is by either having your tits out, which I'm not going to get into that whole debate. I wish they would go all or nothing. That stupid shit about the hot tub streams, and how, oh, it's okay to be in a bikini if you're streaming in an appropriate bikini situation, so they just stream from a hot tub. And it's like why don't you just go all or nothing and just have a fucking adult section for Twitch? Like, is it an investor thing? Are you worried that investors will pull out or advertisers will pull out? Like, just have an adult section. And then, like, have an adult section and then clamp down on the sexualization in the non adult section. Because there are people on there that stream, like, in the just chatting section that are basically just showing their gaping assholes pretty much for the entire stream. And it's just, it's fucking stupid. And another way would be to, like, be really good at a game, or like play like a niche game that's like either popular or maybe not popular, but like the niche is like small enough that like people will flock to it, which is actually what I plan to do when I get back into streaming. That's why I changed my Twitch name to the Cozy Bear, because I'm gonna stream almost entirely cozy games. I'm gonna start with Graveyard Keeper and move from there, and then every now and then I'll branch off with like horror games and stuff. Um, but like, yeah. But yeah, if you want to be successful, you got to do something. You got to do something special. You can't just do what people were doing years ago. Alright, you guys do not respond.
Nasty hit. You all right, brother?
Fuck!
I thought we had it that time.
I need to remember that there are sometimes enemies that require different tactics. Like, for instance, a tactic for an
Very good. Not your death just now, but all the progress you made.
like one tactic that would be good for certain enemies like that is to either switch to your uh
Valhalla, where legends are made.
It's never been easier to be better.
okay, I need health because I'm hurting for health all the time.
Much better than last time. It seems you're learning Valhalla's rules.
I must admit, Siegler, Valhalla isn't exactly what I imagined.
You're experiencing only a very small part of it. One that's independent and unconnected from the rest of Valhalla. Elsewhere, there are larger neighborhoods where the dead reside. Socializing, playing games, drinking, fighting. But one must earn the right to join their fallen comrades. New arrivals run a gauntlet. A personalized, self-contained version of what you're doing. It's meant to help the dead process the lives they lived. Those who are worthy, who have found some measure of closure, are allowed to move forward. Those who are unable to resolve their lives are forever trapped in their personal Valhalla. Some just prefer to keep fighting here.
I wonder how much of that is based on the actual myth. Like, I know Valhalla is literally just a place of constant fighting, drinking, and fucking. Hey, tiny quick bit of post commentary. I just want to say that I'm going to start skipping over these two opening rooms because the enemies are always the same. Sometimes they're a little bit different later on, but it's really just a formality at this point. So I'm going to start skipping them and just showing me opening the chest and making my choice. I'll go with that. I don't use that move much, but I do I prefer the blades just because of the range and. And then it immediately throws me into a battle with enemies where I gotta use my axe. Was that always a thing? Was that? Oh yeah, I forgot about frosting up. Yeah, that thing where weaker foes are thrown to create a explosion of frost on impact. I don't remember that. I really don't remember that. Ooh. I also don't remember the ability to disable skills because I remember that was like an issue. Like it annoyed me more in the first game just because of how good the Executioner's Cleave was. Um, but if you ran forward and pressed the button, it would do a different move. So it was annoying to have to like run. Like if you stunned an enemy, like if you knocked an enemy down and you wanted to cleave them, you had to run forward and then pause a moment. So being able to disable a skill so that like if it's like interfering with your playstyle, I don't remember if that was in. I know it wasn't in the first game, and I don't remember if it was in this when I played it, but yeah, Cyclone Chaos.
Behind you, brother! Behind you! Fire behind you!
Where are you? Where are you throwing shit from? Where are you throwing shit from? I got my earbuds in backwards.
Fire behind you!
I was so confused. Oh yeah. Those are good, but I'm low on health. Oh, you can only buy it once. Okay. And I can't afford that now. I still upgrade that. Probably should have waited until they were closer to do that. Combo finishers have high luck to strength and stagger resistance. Takes reduced damage and has increased stagger resistance during his basic attacks and skills. That is nice. Man, I don't get staggered often, but just reduce damage while I'm attacking. Would be nice. Can't upgrade either of those. I guess I'll take a bit of rage. I will say that I will be extremely fucking disappointed if it turns out that all those crumbled portals aren't actually anything, and they never become anything, and they're just set decoration. Sometimes when chests can spawn. So that's one issue. I will say that I will be extremely fucking disappointed if it turns out that all those crumbled portals aren't actually anything, and they never become anything, and they're just set decoration. I was just about to activate a thingy. I was just about to activate a thingy.
An improvement over last time. Don't lose heart, brother.
I've died in the same level 3 times in a row. What the fuck are you talking about? Let's get some more defense.
Beautiful improvement.
Take less damage.
Much better than last time. It seems you're learning Valhalla's rules.
I'm not.
How fair are you and your sisters?
With just the 3 of us to attend to the fallen now, we're short-handed. But we've begun recruiting new shield maidens.
Well, I happen to know of one lass who'd jump at the chance to join your ranks.
You mean Thrud? Sif and Thor's daughter? Believe me, I know. She sought us out before the call even left our lips.
She fights well and can be trusted.
A recommendation from you, General. With that, how could we ignore her? Not that she'd let us.
She's probably one of my favorite characters. I like her. I just like her personality. Just that, like, kind of like, how you put it, like very, I don't want to say dominating, but, like, just very, like, confident in the way that she speaks, and, like, will just get right up in your face. I like that. Like, it's weird, like, and it's hard to, like, I keep saying it's hard to talk about this kind of stuff because with a game like this, in a setting like this, and lore like this, you don't know how old these characters are, and, like, she looks like she could be underage or not, and then obviously with them being gods and stuff, who knows how old she is. So I don't want to like talk about it in certain ways, but I'll just say that, like, those traits in an adult, like, it's weird because, like, I'm more of a, like, and this is information I know you don't want to hear, but I take joy in knowing that only one person is watching this, and I can make them as uncomfortable as I want. But I have a very dumb personality, and like, so the when I'm with someone, I like them to be more submissive, but I also like them to be very confident and very like headstrong, and having those two things together is difficult. It's not it's not easy to find someone that can pull those two things. Increases damage from that the blades burn status inflicts. You know, I don't ever use the blades burn status, but still I don't ever use the spear, which I know I should, and I know that if I'm gonna try to 100% this, which I saw that there are trophies, so I'm probably gonna have to do all the things eventually. I probably have to get good at it. And I know the spear can be good. It's just I think that like I think it was introduced maybe a little too late. Like the blades in the first game, they were introduced a bit late, but that served a thematic and story purpose, and I think it's amazing that they did that. Um, I think it's amazing they did that because, like, they knew that not showing the blades in any promotional material and just making you think that it's just not going to be in the game was a risky move, because there probably are people that their purchasing decision was affected by that. And I think that they picked like the right time, but like this when the spear comes in, you're pretty far into the game, and yeah, there is like a ton of side content, so there is still plenty of content to dig into, but I just don't know, like the attacks don't feel special. Um, they don't feel any different from the axe attacks. The only difference being that the spear can do that. And I know that there are some unique things you can do with the spear. You know. And you can, you know, put a bunch, like there's like even runic moves that, you know, will put those in, and then you can detonate them and everything. Like the spear, it's not a bad weapon. I just prefer the other two. And I don't know if I said it at the time. I may have even had the opposite opinion at the time, but on reflection, I think that the story for the spear was kind of dumb. Not the way it was made, like Dropnir. I don't know if that's like a real mythological like thing, like a ring that duplicates itself. Um, and like the whole thing of going to visit the lake mermaid chick. Um, like all that was interesting, but the idea that it could defeat Heimdall is so fucking stupid, because uh the moment, like he can see everything coming, So he'll know that it's a spear that can duplicate himself. Like, what is he all like? Okay, here's my proof. Here's my proof, and feel free to tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Here's my proof that um uh that the Dropner spear being what defeats Heimdall is stupid. Aside from the fact that once the battle, gets started, you can use other weapons on them and stuff. At least I think. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It could be that other weapons didn't work, and I may be misremembering that. But here's my proof that the Dropner spear it does not make any sense for being able to defeat Heimdall, because you also fight him as Atreus with arrows, multiple arrows, infinite arrows, by the way. And yeah, that is a little bit of ludonarrative dissonance. I know that, like, I think there's even like a point in the story of either this one or the last one where he like runs out of arrows or something during a cutscene. I get that, but like, I just if like he catches the spear and then you're able to detonate it, and it's like, oh, that can damage him. And it's like, from that point, first off, that shouldn't have even worked, because he should have seen that coming. He can see everything fucking coming. That's the whole point of the goddamn character. And I get that, like, the only defense that I can kind of see is, I know that one of the ways they put it when they're talking about it is finding a way to overwhelm his senses. And that does make sense. That does make sense that even if he can see everything coming, like, he's not like, Rain Man. He's not, Neo. Like if a million people attacked him at once, just because he'd be able to predict all their moves, doesn't mean, like, so, like, overwhelming his senses, I get that aspect. But, like, just the fact that like, he catches the spear and then you blow it up in his hand, like, after that he just wouldn't catch it. He would dodge it. He'd be like, okay, I know what this spear does. I'm going to avoid getting hit by it. I can predict your every move, every swing, every throw. I'm not going to get hit by it. And it's like, and this has happened in games before, where, like, there's an enemy that's, like, super strong, can't beat him, and then you find a way to beat him, but, like, they actually end up kind of being gimped for the fight. And you're supposed to imagine that it's because of the new way that you're fighting them, but it's not. It's just because now they're in boss battle mode. Fuck. I'll take that. But yeah, I think that was a very weak aspect to the story. I think that the entire subplot of going to see the Sisters of Fate was the weakest, like, probably the weakest part of the story. Like, it was, you go through all this shit just to have them mock you and like okay, they actually have something in common with Heimdall in that, and this is something that like annoys me to no end in pretty much anything with any fantasy elements, is when someone has a power that, like, it's a power they have. It's not something they've trained. It's not something like obviously I don't know the lore about the Sisters of Fate, so maybe they did train or whatever, but like they have a power that they can use, and they act like that, like somehow, like, I don't want to say makes them better, because that's not the right term I'm wanting to use, because yeah, I mean that is also a thing that they act, people like that act like their power makes them like better and stuff, but like how do I put what I'm trying to say? It's like they act like this power that they have, that's giving them the advantage over you, the power that they know damn well that if they didn't have that, like that little shit Heimdall, he knows damn well if he didn't have that foresight ability, you could fucking bash his little fucking face into fucking mush in 2 seconds. That's all he has going for him. It's when they act like a power that they have is like a skill that they are using, like a skill that, like, and again, like I don't know if like in the lore the Sisters of Fate like trained to be able to do what they did, um but like, and I don't know like how Heimdall got his eyes. I think I remember them mentioning it at some point, um but like uh they're like with Kratos, yeah, he's got like godly powers and stuff, but even in games when he was like stripped of his godly powers, he still had skills with weapons. Um, and like when a character, and don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily complaining, because this is actually a good way of, like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of times this is actually done on purpose to make you not like a character, and if that's the case, then it's successful, so it's actually good character design. But they're acting like something that is innate to them, a power that they have, that's not something they trained, it's not something that like that they've practiced, that they're good at. It's just an innate power that they have, is like a skill that they're utilizing, like almost like aha, you can't beat me because I'm like say like you have two swordsmen and they're fighting and one is better, and it's like, you can't beat me because I'm better with the sword. Okay. But they're taking that same mentality to, you can't beat me because I have this power, but with an attitude almost as if the power is like not just something that they are lucky enough to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit pisses me off. But like I said, it's something that's probably done intentionally a lot of the time to make the character less likable, and make you want to kill them. It did it again. I really don't know what's causing that. I think the controller's just malfunctioning. And it's not the end of the world, because when it happens, I'm able to just hold the PS button and get out of it, and get it to stop doing it. But that does mean that it fucks up my recordings, so then any recording like that, I'll have to run through the Share Factory, which doesn't take too long. Like, it's not like I'm actually editing a video. I'm just putting two videos together, and it doesn't take too long to render it. I don't really necessarily want this, but I definitely don't want that. Just trying to think like what's causing this to happen. And like the left analog stick on my controller is a little weird. Like it sticks a little. And I was kind of like fucking with it a little bit when it happened. So I don't know if that affected it. I don't know. I mean, I do have my old controller that broke in an unfortunate javelining incident. I could take it apart and put some of the guts of it into this one and hope that whatever component is fucking this one up is fine in that one. I might fuck around with that later. Whatever.
Must be the other gate this time.
Wait. The fuck do you mean it must be the other gate this time? It has always been the same gate every single fucking time. The hell are you fucking talking about? Like, am I gonna unlock new realms that I can go to, and it'll randomize which ones? I don't know. No, it's always been this one every time. You dumb little fucking head. Alright, this is the level where I always die. Dude, one hit from him? One hit from him? Seriously? I mean, I wasn't at full health, but...
Making some progress anyway.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. More health, I guess. No, I'm fighting my way exactly as deep as I have every time.
See, Grindia, as Kratos and I have been off the beaten path, so to speak, I'm curious as to the state of the realms.
Well, since my sisters and I returned to our old Valkyrie duties, the souls of the damned no longer find the gates of Helheim closed to them. So...
No more Hellwalkers spilling into the other realms? Grand!
I can't say no Hellwalkers are left in the realms, but there are fewer. Rasvelga seemed pleased. Or at least I think that's what her expression meant.
Yeah, I will say a game like this kind of lives and dies on how much dialogue there is. If you have to play this shit over and over again, how much dialogue you've programmed in to get to enjoy in between like sessions. Like already it's been kind of disappointing that within like 2 or 3 rounds I'm not getting much dialogue during these parts. Like Hades is a fucking masterclass on that. I think it's probably the best game ever made for that. Like, I didn't even beat that game. I mean, I beat it, and I made it really far into the post game, but I never 100%ed it, which I do plan on going back and 100. I actually got the platinum on Bastion recently, and next I'm gonna do Transistor, and then I'll go get the platinum on Hades. let's axe for a while. I do like that they at least reused the Executioner's Cleave animation for the takedown. Even as I stopped playing Hades, partially I got burned out, but also I wanted to move on to other games. Oh, and this was before I was starting to get into trophy hunting. But like, even with how much time I put into that game, I was still having new dialogue. And that game is a fucking masterclass at that. And it is sad that like let me say this, like I always, when I say stuff, I always like, I say it like I have this, like, it in the corner of my mind, the possibility that someone else might watch this someday, and I always think about that. But then other times I just talk just freely because I know just David's watching. But like, well, I don't want to. Actually, don't want to. David, if you haven't, I can't remember if you've played Hades. If you haven't, and if you plan to, just cover your ears for like the next like 30 seconds. Cover your ears, and I'll swing. I'll start swinging my axe when you can listen again. But I do think it's cool that they actually, like, they give like some representation to different things like bisexuality and asexuality. And I think it's cool that they included an asexual character. There's not a lot of those. The only other one I can think of is that girl from the Outer Worlds. And not to be like, not to be like, what's the word? Cynical, but I get the feeling that that was not chosen to be a character trait, to be an interesting character trait, but just as like a easy way of explaining a way that they like didn't include romance in that game. Like each character like has kind of like a like reasons why you can't romance them. And I get that they probably just didn't want to include that in the game, or they didn't have time. And I do get the feeling that that was included. Maybe I'm wrong, but that was included like less as a thing about representation and more of a thing about like, well, since we're not including romance anyway, let's just. But anyway, you know, I think it's cool that Hades includes a lot of different like relationship type stuff. It includes bisexuality. It includes polyamory. It includes an asexual character, and like best of all, it like respects the player's consent. So they can choose just to romance the woman, or just to romance the man, or to romance both of them. But I will say that it breaks my fucking heart that the character that they chose to make the asexual character is the one that I really like. Like, I really like Dusa. I know she's just ahead. And no, I'm not thinking the dirty thing that you think I'm thinking, but she's just so adorable, and I fucking love her. And Megara, Meg, whatever her name was, really isn't my type, honestly. But Dusa is so my type. Like Dusa is literally the definition of my type. And so like I'm not mad that they like this isn't like me being like, I got friend zone, this is bullshit. And I'm not mad that they chose to include a character like that. It just sucks that they happen to pick the one that like appeals to me personally. Like 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 just like it's just, and I get that it's a coincidence. I know that isn't intentional because they couldn't make that intentional because everyone has different tastes, so they couldn't intentionally do that. But it just sucks that like her everything about her personality and stuff is like exactly what I like, and that happens to be the character that when you progress down the romance line, she just wants to be friends and basically says that she doesn't like think that way and doesn't like have like sexual feelings. And like I was like happy for her, like I was happy that like she was able to express herself and they were able to put something like that in the game. But at the same time, it's like, did it have to be her? Come on, did it have to be her? Why? I have not. Okay, look, I haven't been this heartbroken since Aerith died. That is the same level of heartbreak. And I know I just compared a person dying to a girl rejecting you, but like still, like you like unless like it like you can't fathom how much I fucking adored this character. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Uh like I'm demisexual, and I think maybe that's why it hits me so hard is because I'm demisexual, which if you the one person watching this, if you don't know what that means, I think I've explained it to you before. I can't feel sexual attraction unless I feel emotional attraction. So I'll look at a chick in a video game and be like, oh, she's hot and stuff, but like I like visually and in my brain I can recognize like an attractive woman, but I feel nothing downstairs, nothing, unless I get to know them either in real life or if it's a character. So because her personality endeared me so much, what you have to understand about demisexual people is like it's our we our knob only goes from 0 or 100. We don't have a knob, we have a switch. It's 0 or 100. We either feel nothing or we are horny as fuck, depending on how we feel about you. So like when I became so endeared to that character, and don't get me wrong, like even if it was in real life and there was someone that like I felt that kind of connection to and they rejected me, whether it was because they weren't into me or because they were asexual, I wouldn't be mad. You know, I'd be heartbroken. And I think something that gets kind of muddled when people talk about things like incels and stuff is I think people get this idea that it's not okay to be heartbroken. It's not okay to be sad that you got rejected. That's okay. That's natural. It's how you handle it that you take that sadness and you just feel it. You let yourself feel it. You let yourself feel the hurt. It's okay to feel hurt that you got rejected. You just don't act out about it. And I just want to point that out because I've literally seen people say that if someone rejects you and it makes you and you feel bad about it, then you're a bad person, blah blah blah, and that's taking it a step too far. So like yeah, if like someone like that if that happened in real life. Like I'd be sad, but I'd still be happy that I get to be friends with this awesome person. But like still, still, guys, guys, why did you hack my brain and make my perfect woman? Yes, she's just a floating head, but you made, personality wise, you made my perfect woman and you took her away from me. I feel personally attacked. Like, I really do. I know that there's no way that that's personal. I know that. And I know there's no way that they said, oh, let's make this character really endearing and make people like her and then do that. No, because the other characters are endearing in different ways. Like the other characters, they're not necessarily my type personality wise. Um, but like, you know, different people are going to appeal to different people. So there are probably people that like when Deuce rejected them, they were like, yeah, that's cool, that's cool. Um, but it was like for me, it was like, no, no, you're perfect, you're perfect. Oh, anyway, anyway, I love how I said to David that it would take about a minute and I'd start swinging my axe, and then I've stood here for like 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. I can't even remember what my upgrade was. I know it had something to do with frosting up. And that if I frosted up and then did something, something would happen. And I remember it said it would refrost it. Hold on, I think you can check your upgrades. Killing enemies with a Frost Awaken attack causes a Frost Shockwave. Okay, so if you make your last attack on them, if you make your final attack on them, one where it's Frost Awakened, it'll reawaken and cause a Shockwave. Okay, okay, okay. You know, that was so good. That was so OP in the first game. And they nerfed it hard. They nerfed it so hard. They nerfed it so hard that they got sued by Mattel. And I make that joke not knowing who manufactures Nerf guns. I just picked a random toy manufacturer. Just substitute for my joke whoever the fuck makes Nerf guns.